Very quickly, this is a spoiler-filled video, so if you haven't watched this episode yet, please go watch the episode, come back and share your thoughts in the comment section. With that in mind, come on. And there are a bunch of things that happened in this episode, but I am going to focus on the meat of this episode. So let's get into this video. Episode 3 slows things down quite a bit and gives us a backstory that was alluded to in the video game. Bill's backstory, to be precise. If you have played the game, then you will know of whom I speak. And if you have not, then this episode definitely gives you some insight into this character. I don't expect every episode to be fast-paced, full of infected, and just full of crazy action sequences. I did expect that some of it would be slowed down, and that is exactly what this episode does. So people, this episode is completely different from all the other episodes so far in the way that this world is built and in the way that they tell the story by starting off with flashbacks. This episode started off in the present day and I'm thinking, I really wanted them to show us a flashback. Little did I know that this entire episode, at least 80% of this episode, is actually a flashback. Joke was on me. This episode is also entirely different from the video game. It is Bill and Frank's love story. You get to find out the relationship that these two characters had before Ellie and Joel encounter them in the video game. That doesn't happen in the TV show. There is no encounter between Joel and Ellie and Bill because they kill Bill off along with Frank, which for me was pretty disappointing. This episode focuses on their love story, how they met, how they spent their lives together, and how it all ended. And I thought that it was well acted, well directed. It was very slow paced. There was minimal action, if any. Okay, there was a little bit of action, but even the action that we did get, for me, it wasn't really anything worth seeing. They didn't really show us anything, and that for me was a little bit disappointing. But anyway, another issue that I had with this episode is that these two characters are living in this part of the world where they're fully stocked. Like, this is a nice place, and for some reason there are no infected here. We see the one infected right at the beginning of this flashback, and then there's not any more. And then when they do get attacked by raiders, it happens just the one time, and I think this is set over 20 years or something, so it is 20 years? I don't know. It's set over a long space of time, and the fact that these people are barely attacked when they are supposed to be living in this world where people are desperate and will do anything to get some resources. It is quite unbelievable that they lived in this peaceful, lovely bubble. And I think that if they had added some stakes to this episode or something that made them fighting for their love seem more kind of, I don't know, there was just no urgency about anything that was happening here. And the one scene where they did try to show us that, I didn't feel like it was very effective. So those were the things that disappointed me. They focused so much on telling us this beautiful love story that they forgot about the world around them, and it didn't necessarily seem believable. It almost seemed like they took a story that was happening elsewhere and slotted it in this world. And so the unbelievable factor of it let it down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Overall, I thought that this episode was, again, very well done. I didn't hate anything about it. I was disappointed by a few things, but, you know, it is what it is. You can't expect it to be the exact same thing as the game, and at the end of the day, you're not always going to be pleased, and I feel like this episode was the calm before the storm, so I'm looking forward to the next episode to see where this goes. I'm hoping that they don't make too many crazy changes and disappoint us fans of the game, but it is also always interesting to see or hear or read what people that haven't played the game think. So please, if you haven't, please leave a comment below, and of course if you have played the game, please leave a comment below. As always, thank you for taking the time to listen to me talk. Please share your thoughts with me, and please like, please share, please subscribe, and please come back and watch more videos. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Mwah.